Indiana Fever take the dub over the Atlanta Dream. I don't even know where to start with this game, but this is how it ended with the high IQ pass where Caitlin just throws it to nobody.
Lays, can't hit, rebound Clark, swings it ahead, and that will do it.
There is a problem spreading across the WNBA right now, and nobody seems to have an answer for it, because Caitlin Clark is reaching the point where normal defense does not work anymore. Guard her at the three-point line, she shoots from behind it.
Here's Clark, working behind Boston. Has the switch on Reese, will fire, and hit from three.
Back up to stop the drive, she pulls up. Send a second defender, she finds the open teammate. And against Atlanta, Caitlin produced another one of those moments where the defense almost looked confused about what it was supposed to do.
Here's Clark, wheeling, found some space, didn't take, finds Boston in the paint, threading the needle for two. Here's Clark, always playing at a breakneck pace, goes behind the back, Timpson couldn't finish it, does on the follow. Timpson, 6 to shoot, finds Clark, back to Timpson in the lane for the lay.
Clark came up the floor, she looked at the basket, and from ridiculously deep range, she let it fly. Clark,
Guarded by Sherrod, will fire a bomb and hit from way downtown.
3 points. That's the Caitlin Clark problem, because when someone is willing to shoot from that far away, the basketball court suddenly becomes much bigger. And lately, WNBA defenses have been finding that out the hard way. This isn't one viral highlight either. Look at what Caitlin has been doing over the past few weeks. During one 8-game stretch, Clark averaged 26.5 points and 9.3 assists. She shot nearly 50% from the floor, and more importantly, she hit almost 44% of her threes.
The Fever are looking really good. The Fever are looking really good. Caitlin's looking really good. Kelsey's looking really good. They are finally clicking. They're finally figuring it out. Like I've said in previous episodes, I do still worry about their defense, specifically their isolation defense, because I feel like not many of their players are very good one-on-one defenders. And there was also multiple times, this is going to get into my MVP discussion, there was multiple times during that game where Caitlin Clark was actually guarding Alicia Gray or guarding Ryan Howard. Like, she was matched up against the best guards on the Atlanta Dream, and so many folks are saying that Caitlin doesn't play defense, that's why she can't be in the MVP conversation, because she doesn't play defense. Caitlin's defense has definitely improved.
Think about that combination: volume scoring, elite passing, deep shooting, and winning basketball. Indiana went 6-2 during that stretch, but Caitlin didn't slow down. Against the New York Liberty, she put up 22 points and 10 assists. Indiana won 106-92, and the Fever absolutely destroyed New York from outside. They hit 16 of 24 three-pointers. That's 2 out of every 3 shots from deep.
Pauline Este, the quickness from New York Liberty, gets the assignment on Caitlin Clark. Rebecca Allen with her size on Kelsey Mitchell.
Clark sheds her, fires, and hits.
Khan, certainly a player you need to put a body on.
Clark connects on a deep three. The former league and finals MVP, this year's All-Star MVP. Clark again. Caitlin Clark.
Why does that matter when we're talking about Caitlin? Because her range changes what every other player on the floor is allowed to do. If Caitlin brings the ball up and a defender waits around the normal three-point line, that defender is already too far away. So now somebody has to meet Clark much higher, sometimes near the logo. But the second you do that, look at what's behind you. Space. A lot of it. Now Caitlin can blow past the first defender, a second defender has to help, and that's when the passing starts. Aaliyah Boston can roll toward the basket. Kelsey Mitchell gets space on the perimeter. Shooters can sit in the corners. Cutters suddenly have open lanes. So even when Clark doesn't shoot the deep three, the threat of that shot has already changed the possession. That's what makes defending her so difficult. And Dallas got another reminder. Caitlin finished with 29 points and 10 assists against the Wings. She even gave Indiana a scare after appearing to hurt her ankle late in the first half. Then she came back and scored 20 points in the second half. But buried inside that performance was another ridiculous achievement. Clark became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 700 career assists. She got there in just 83 games. That's the part of Caitlin's game that sometimes gets lost behind the huge threes. Everybody talks about the shooting. Everybody shares the logo shots. Everybody knows what happens when she gets hot from outside. But you can't simply throw two defenders at her, because she's one of the most dangerous passers in basketball. And that forces defenses into an impossible choice. Let Caitlin operate one-on-one, she can score. Bring help, she can pass. Go under a screen, she can shoot. Go over, she can attack the gap. Switch a bigger defender onto her, she can create separation. Put a smaller guard on her, she can shoot over the top. So what exactly are you supposed to take away? Atlanta just became the latest team forced to answer that question. And again, Clark walked away with numbers. 26 points, 9 assists. Another Fever win. Indiana beat Atlanta 95-91 in overtime. That made it 4 wins in a row and 11 victories in 14 games. That's where this gets really interesting, because earlier in Caitlin's career, people could dismiss the highlights. Sure, the passing was amazing. Sure, she could shoot from the logo, but critics could point toward turnovers, efficiency, defense, team results. Now, Indiana's winning, and Caitlin's efficiency has climbed with it. That's a much bigger problem. The craziest thing might be how much more comfortable she looks controlling the game. She doesn't need to sprint around trying to create something every possession. Sometimes she slows everything down. She watches the defender, waits for the screen, moves them where she wants them, and then attacks. That's what happens when a great talent starts understanding exactly how opponents are trying to stop her. The league adjusts to Caitlin, then Caitlin adjusts to the adjustment, and suddenly the solution that worked 2 months ago doesn't work anymore. That's why these deep threes matter beyond the highlight. Every time Caitlin hits one from near the logo, the next defender remembers it. Now she's thinking about it when Clark crosses half court. Should I step up? Is she actually going to shoot from there? Do I need help? Where is the screen coming from? And Caitlin only needs a tiny bit of hesitation, because now the screen arrives. The defender is late. Clark gets downhill, help comes a pass. Open three, basket. That's how one ridiculous shot can affect 10 possessions after it. And this is exactly what the Fever want heading toward the playoffs. Not Caitlin Clark simply putting up huge numbers. Caitlin Clark forcing entire defenses to change what they normally do. Because once the opponent starts designing its whole game plan around stopping number 22, everybody else gets opportunities. And here's the scary part. She's only 24 years old. This isn't some veteran at the end of her prime who has completely mastered every part of the game. Clark is still learning, still adjusting, still figuring out exactly how much she can get away with from 30 feet away. And right now, every time a defender thinks they've finally figured out where they need to guard Caitlin Clark, she takes another step backwards